is LMU I'm Scott Erlin, here with head women's basketball coach Crystal Evans. Crystal, we haven't caught up with you in a while, so let's get right to it. Last night, Bluefield State, you improved to 5-2. What did you see in that game that you liked, and what did you see maybe that you didn't like?
Well, I do think Stephanie Smith did a good job, and so did Josie Harding against their big kid, Hope Smith. That's the first time that we've faced any team with that height and post presence, and I felt like they did a good job, both defensively and offensively, taking it to her, and then obviously defending her. So I was happy with that. I was very frustrated, I'm not going to lie, about our turnovers. That's something that we definitely still need to work on. But to give that team credit, they're a good team. They're a good team. And, they gave us everything, everything that everything I don't want to see again. So they were a tough team, and they gave us their best shot, and we were fortunate to come out with the win.
And then let's just look at the stat sheet a little bit. We ended up shooting 50% from the field. You talked about the 29 turnovers, but you got a balanced scoring output. You got 13 points apiece from both Megan Pittman and Courtney Cox, career high 13 points, and then 12 points from Katrina Austin. She's on fire lately. And then Stephanie, of course, it was even a little bit of a down game for her, but even then it was 10 points, 6 rebounds, 5 blocks.
Right.
So just talk about what that means to be able to have that kind of balanced scoring output on a night where maybe you just didn't have your best offensive showing.
Well, anytime you can have numerous players in double digits, when you're looking at, who's averaging, let's say 13 points, 12 points, 11 points, 11 points, 9 points, which I think ours is very comparable to that. If you can have multiple kids in double digits, that's a great team, because when you go and scout that type of team, you can't zero in on just one kid. You can't sit there and target. Like, if a team was to come in and say, oh, we're just literally going to take Stephanie Smith out the game, fine, because Megan Pittman's going to step up, or Courtney Cox is going to step up, or Josie Harding is going to step up. Somebody else on this team is going to step up to, counter whatever you're trying to take away, because everybody on this team is a weapon. And, I just think that last night it was Megan Pittman and Courtney Cox.
And then we had talked the preseason. You had said that you wanted this team to be an offensive juggernaut, score 80 points a game, and the early returns on that have been mostly positive. I think 75 points a game right now. We're shooting 43%, which is both are the second best number in the South Atlantic Conference. But then you see those turnover numbers. What do you think, if we can limit those numbers, which I know that's been central to your team's efforts the last couple of weeks, if you can limit those numbers, what do you think the ceiling offensively of this team could be?
Well, you just just say we knock down 10 turnovers. That could be an additional, let's just say if it was 2 points, not even counting threes or not even getting to the free throw line, that's 20 points right there. That's 10 more possessions. That could be 20 points. We're already at 70 points right now, like as far as last night. Had we just made 10 less turnovers, we would have been at 90 easy. And so I think, 80-plus points for us is very realistic. It's just we got to do all the little things. And when I discussed it with my team, it was 29 unforced turnovers. Now, that's not taking any credit away from Bluefield State, because they're a very good defensive team. But we had travels. We had multiple just, non-communication where we're throwing it up and the kid's not looking. We had several of those things. We had, Stephanie going to outlet it and the kid tipped it. There's just several things that happened that, it was lack of communication on our part and lack of focus. And, if we knock out those, which I'm planning on we will, then I think it's very realistic to be an 80-plus team for us. Very realistic.
And now let's look a little bit ahead. I know you've got a few days here to think about yourself, and then you turn the page, I guess, to Coker, who comes in this weekend. South Atlantic Conference game, all of them are important. So how much have you looked at this Coker team? We saw that they blew out Quincy at their first South Atlantic Conference victory last Tuesday. And then they've got UNC Pembroke tomorrow night, and then they've got us. So what do you see in that team so far?
Coker's a good team. I think they're well coached. I think they're a team that plays hard. It doesn't matter. This seen games where they've been down and they've fought back. They're not a team that's just going to lay down and let you beat them. They're just going to fight every possession. I think this is a great team. I think it's a good challenge for us. Today in practice, we mainly focused on ourselves. We mainly focused on our turnovers, that sort of thing. Tomorrow we're going to more focus on Coker. Tomorrow's practice and Friday's practice, so we're really going to focus on Coker, and tomorrow we'll focus more on the personnel, and Friday we'll do a little bit more walkthrough and actually going over some of their plays and getting more prepared for them. But I do think it's a good challenge, and obviously the intensity has to go up anytime it's a conference game.
All right, Coach. Well, we'll catch up with you again after this week finishes up, and before you start the last little slew of games before Christmas break. Best of luck to you, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you.